How's it going, everyone? Welcome to today's video. So just before we get into the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video if you find this helpful, and then you'll get notified every time I upload a video. As long as I trade, I will make a video on what I traded that day, and so potentially 5 videos a week. The only time I won't do the video is if I haven't traded for the day. So we're back with another video, back with another day trading experience for me, and sadly this is a red day recap. It's my biggest red day so far since I've officially gone doing these videos. I know we're only the third day into it, but as you can see, we're down $81 for the day. Equity was just around $7.90, and sadly we've had quite a big red day, so lots to talk about in this video. We took 2 trades. So yeah, let's get into it. So basically every day, if you're in the warrior trading or in any sort of chat room, you normally have scanners. You're looking at potentially what stocks are in play for the day, and WGYI was the one. There wasn't actually a lot on the pre-market. Even WGYI was one of the best ones, and that didn't make a move. Actually, sorry. This was my second trade. The first one, as you see, here are my trades for today. GSUM, YGIY. The first one was actually GSUM. This made a bit of a move yesterday, so it was kind of it made it, as you said. This is Tuesday, the February. So you see we had this bit of move up from the low to $2 to the almost $3. And then it's here, and so as there wasn't a lot on the gap scanners, this was sort of a continuation, a potential one that might be in play, just a one to keep an eye on. Don't know if we're going to make a trade on it or not, but it was just one to keep an eye on. So as you see, pretty much no volume pre-market. This is the pre-market section here, and then literally out of the gates, over, I think it was a $3 mark here, we just bang, we get almost 200,000 200,000 shares of volume come in, and as you see, it's just gone from basically was that 285 up to 420. An absolutely insane move. Recently these have been happening. We've been getting these really just, this is a 1 minute time frame, by the way, so there's been like no pullbacks, no nothing. It's just bang 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 bang. There may be like a pause during the minute, but for me, with a small account, not being as aggressive, I don't really jump in on these as it's shooting up, because in the past, in the simulator, I have bought these and they've just come all the way, they've just shot back down. But I know like Ross and some other people bought it and they've just been skyrocketing. But one strategy I have been trading along with the dip buy-in, and it's the only other strategy I'll be trading, is buying into halts. So as we see here, bought 100 shares. I'll go to my trade, my order history. GSUM, buy 414. So on the level 2 here, if you basically, what happens is when it's about to go into the halt, you on some level 2s, it's got the LULD, which is limit up, limit down indicator. So where we see Edge X here, it will say LULD, and it will get. And it will say, like, for instance, this was 414. So once it gets to 414, it basically means the stock can't go no higher. It's going to get halted, and when it gets halted, we just see loads and loads of basically yellow. It's just like what's the best way to put it? It's just like buyers just piling in, and there's no and it's almost like it's crashing. So there's too many buyers compared to too many sellers. So they need to take a break for 5 minutes so that the stock gets halted, so they can match up the buyers and sellers. What we typically see, not 100% of the time, but a decent percentage of the time, is when a stock halts, it opens up higher, and there was no reason to think this wasn't going to do it. I think it was the daily chart. I don't use Trade Zero for charting. I like having a little chart there, but basically I think on the daily chart we didn't see any sort of resistance to about 576. So there was no reason why this stock weren't going to go up to $5 or at least $4.50. So I was happy to buy into the halt, and that's exactly what I did. See it getting halted, got in 100 shares at $4.14. As you see here, these little markers, this was a 5-minute halt. For a stock to halt, I believe it has to go up 20% within a 5-minute period, and as you see, it's just gone up, way more than that in this 1-minute period. So it got halted there, and as you see, it just opened up exactly. I think it opened up around. Well, this is the open price here, 410. Really, really disappointing to see. Straight away, we got a big flush out here, and I mistraded. I mistraded this. This is completely thing. When it opened up lower, and we got the flush down, I should have waited for it to pop up, and I should have just sold for a loss. I could have easily have sold this at the let's say where it closed, 385. I could have easily sold this at 385, and it would be the 30-cent loss. And that's $30. That's nothing to be ashamed with. You got in for a trade. The plan obviously didn't go. The trade didn't go as planned. So I basically didn't have a plan for this scenario. So it's a lesson learned. Stupidly, what I thought is, like my other trade on, I think yesterday on WROX, that stock got halted, and what I've been finding is a lot of stocks have been going up, they've been coming out of the halt a bit higher, but then they've been flushing down. This basically done the same, apart from it didn't go higher. It flushed down, and I thought, okay, when it flushed down, I thought I'd buy, but in theory, looking back now, why did I buy here? No, I should have bought bottom of this candle at least, and then it popped up. And the reason I bought is because I had a high price of 414. I thought, okay, if I buy around the 380 mark, or 385, which I did, it basically gave me an average of $4. I thought, okay, we could get back up to $4 and potentially break up to 415. So that was my thinking. So I don't think that's the worst idea. I think in reality we shouldn't do that. But that was sort of my idea. I thought this might have a pop, just like some of the other stocks have done recently after halts. And I thought, as I said, if I buy, so averaging down, it's called. It's not recommended, and I'm not going to do it again. And that's basically what I thought. I thought it'd get back up to the $4 mark and break $4. If it goes to 405, I make, I'll get out break even or for a small profit. That was all I was looking for. And if I got lucky and it popped right up, I would sell for a profit. So we had a massive loss on that, and because I bought high here and added, and then I didn't sell to down here, we lost $93 on it. We lost 47 cents a share, 200 shares. I said I normally only buy 100 shares. $93. It's just not acceptable, really. And I think, and this is one thing I wanted to avoid when I was trading. So when in January, I had a couple days like this. I actually traded 2 halts in January, both successful. I think so. I've had 2 successful, 1 not now. But this has made up for the 2. This has made up. I've lost more with this one than I gained on the previous 2. So it's just not good enough. So basically, one of the reasons why I don't exactly trade Ross's style at the moment is just due to account size and experience. Is a lot of time when you buy the breakouts. So let's say this happened, but then this shot all the way up to 414. A lot of people would buy at 414 expecting it to break out, but sometimes it doesn't. It hits that wall and comes fast, really comes zooming down. That's basically what I want to avoid, and that's why I've been trading my dip buying strategy. So for now, halt strategy is just off the cards. I can't afford to have these type of massive flush down, because the strategy I trade, and I'll show you with WGYI. So basically that's GSUM. It was a halt strategy. Not trading halt strategies anymore. I'm only going to trade my one strategy, because that's the only strategy right now that I'm showing I'm making money. I'm showing I'm consistent on it over a small sample. So got to still be careful. But WGYI is the example of WGYI, and this isn't the best trade. I think I was a little bit emotional after that big loss, but this is the idea. And so WGYI was really the only stock we was looking, apart from GSUM, was the only other stock we was looking at after out pre-market. Sorry, and as you see here, market opens, we get a big spike up, flash down. A lot of people probably would buy for the flash down here. That's not the worst, or they would have bought it for the pop and sold it going up. But as you see, after I was concentrating on GSUM, so this done a nice little ride. This is the kind of idea we're looking for. Not exactly this candle, but pop up. We get the big flush down, and that's where I want to buy. I want it to flush down, because then because not happens all the time, but most of the time, once it's already flushed down, it's unlikely to then flush down sharply again, and that's just what I'm trying to avoid, these big flushes. So if a stock is strong, it's going to flush down. A lot of people do this strategy, so they buy the bottom of the flushes. A lot of the sellers then buy, short sellers then buy, so the stock does pop back up, and that's what we got here. We got bang, 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 bang. It got a bit extended, so it flushed down. And when I saw it flush down, it looked better on the TC2000 charts. That's the chart I actually use. But it flushed down to the 9 EMA, as you see here. So that's where I purchased it. Right on the 9 EMA, which is this grey line right there. It's a slightly... I tried to use that as support. And then we've got the pop-up. And that's all we're looking for. And that, it doesn't look like much, but that right there was I think it was a 12-cent winner. So not the biggest, but 12 cents is, I try and aim, if I can aim 12 cents a share, that's really good, because that's basically 100 shares will be $12 profit, $2 that's commission, so it's $10 profit after commissions. Yeah, and you see here I bought at $8.40, sold at $8.52, right there, $8.40, $8.52. But that is the idea. Because as I said, what some people would be doing, they'll be buying here, hoping for the break of 880 up to 9, and that's fine. That can reasonably happen. But what you also get is these flushes, and that's just basically what I've been avoiding. What I've been trying to avoid. So that's why I've just been buying the dip buying strategy. I've just been using the dip buying strategy, and it's been working really well for me. So for now, that is the only strategy I will be using. And actually, I will just bring this up. What I do and what I recommend for everyone is tracking my trades, or tracking your trade, shall I say. As you see here, these are all my trades. You see when I started off, red, green, basically these are green, red. You see all that, and then recently, since the 29th of January, green, red, much more green than red. And apart from this one, my greens have been better than red. And if you notice, this has all been dip buy. You see one, I've got surging momentum, halt where we made 18 cents on, halt there where we made 22 cents on, and today halt where we lost 40 cents. So as I said, we've had 3 halts, 2 of them winners, 1 of them loser. But this is why I'm tracking. And basically, so far, of all these dip buys, I think we've now traded 20. Yeah, we've traded 24 of them, and 70. No, sorry, we've traded. Yes, 24 of them we've traded, and 17 of them have been successful, and the other 7 have been losers. So we're showing a really high accuracy rating of about 70%, which is absolutely insane. And my winners have been bigger overall, been averaging bigger than my losers. So my profit to loss ratio, I don't know exactly what it is, but basically if you have a 1-to-1 profit loss ratio, so if you win, so if you gain $1,000 on every stock you trade, but you lose $1,000 on every stock you trade, if you are at 60% accuracy, you'll make money, because 6 times you would make 6,000, and then the 4 losers you've lost 4,000. So the difference is your profit. So if I'm making, I said it's only 24-ish trades so far with the dip buying strategy, but it's showing promising signs for me, and that's literally the only strategy from now I'm going to follow. It was the only, and that's the beauty of doing these videos, tracking my trades, is I was doing some momentum strategies, 1-minute pullback strategies, winning some decent money on some. Well, I say decent money, decent cents. Like 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. But then I was also having the ones that flushed down, and I lost $1 per share on one of them. So it was just too risky, too volatile. So cut them out. Started getting a bit more confidence with the dip buying, and still using the halts, because as you see, my first 2 halt trades, they I've done 3 of them now, so it's still 66%. It's not to rule out that strategy, and it's not saying the other strategies don't work. It is just a case of I can't. It's basically like variance in poker. I just can't avoid the high swings and the low swings. It's just too swing. I needed more consistency, more of a steady grinding up stock as such. Basically, if you look at WGYI, I can't be having this with my account. It's just too it's too risky, basically. So I'm looking more of that lower volume, steady stock as such, if we can put it that way. But yeah, so sadly that was the A today, but it cost me $80 or $90. But it's a lesson learned. As I said in yesterday's video, this is basically $81 I've lost on the stocks. It doesn't include commissions. Commissions is $1 per entry, $1 per exit, pretty much, and then there's maybe 10 cents for like ECN fees and stuff. So you pretty much save $2 per stock. So I took basically 6 trades today. So we're looking at so yeah, it'd be $1, $2, $3, $4, about $5. About $5 ish of commission. So maybe $6, just over $6 of commission today. So we're looking at about just under a $90 loss in total. So yeah, so as I said, that's to repeat myself, it's really important to track your trades if you are trading. We only need one strategy to be successful. So I'm just going to concentrate on this dip buying strategy. It's working really well for me. It's a bit more safer. It's a bit more controlled. It's a bit more slower for my liking. So it suits me a lot better. And as I said, right now I'm showing that, starting to get that small data behind me to show that this is working. And hopefully it will continue. And yeah, and regarding halts, I will trade them one day, but maybe when I've got much more experience in the market, I'm a better trader, I've studied more about halts and how to handle, because the thing is, the halts have been going up afterwards, so it's been easy. Halt goes up, I quickly sell, making a profit. That's been my sort of strategy, but I had no strategy for when, for when it does that big sharp drop. Where is this thing? That big sharp drop there. And that's what basically happened. I was holding. Basically, I was holding and hoping. I didn't feel that emotional, but definitely I was just sort of hoping it would go back. And that's not the way to trade. We've got to have a plan. So my plan should have definitely been, okay, if this opens up at the same, I should have waited. Basically 4.15. If it opened up at 4.15, I should have had a loss of a mental stop of $4. That's a 15-cent loss. If I get a bit of slippage, maybe 20 cents. That's $20. That's nothing. That's absolutely fine. That should have been my plan, and that's why I do these reviews for hopefully for you guys to learn from my mistakes, so it costs you less money to become profitable, and also for me so I can hopefully don't make this mistake again. And for now, I won't trade halts. The only time I will trade a halt, and I will change my mind on this, is the only time I'll trade a halt is if I'm up $50-ish for the day, and I see a strong stock and it's about to get halted on the first circuit breaker halt, I would maybe trade that with small shares, because I've got a bit of a cushion on the day. I'm feeling confident. We'll see that, and they do work out quite well. And worst case, if it doesn't work out, then I can practice this strategy, so or this plan as such. So there we go, guys. Hopefully tomorrow is a green day. Hopefully we make a trade tomorrow. I don't force it. You see, I only made 2 trades today, basically, or 2 stocks, and that's all we need, 1 or 2 a day, and we can make a really good income as long as we cut out these big red days. So hopefully we make a trade tomorrow. Hopefully the market allows us to make a trade tomorrow. And if we do, I'll be back with a recap, and we hope that's a green recap. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel once again, and please like the video if you enjoyed these, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.